He grew up a city boy. That means, I guess, he had a short childhood in the place where wildflowers bloom and grandmothers are kind as warm bathwater, then grew up sudden with a jerk. Like reaching up too high when the football comes and flesh tears itself hanging in the air. I see him in the schoolyard, roughing with rough boys the way I never did, learning, I guess, his way of hitting, having racial hate put deeper down than reason ever could tear it out. Bill, my genes becoming not me. He who held my mother, body to body, the way I had never held a woman, and came flesh of her flesh, my build, the way the Allen men run to fat in their 40s. From a drop we come, as Hillel said. I saw a rainbow at midnight out on the deep blue sea. They danced, my mother and father, before they were my mother and my father. But two lost people in love and desire in a honky-tonk in Jackson to that song. She was to keep the scratched 78 for years and give it to me to be mine and tell me it was their song. When lovers had songs, that silly lyric crooned in the style that was going out of style in 1946. She never said one bad thing about him to me. A rainbow at midnight, rainbow round the moon, I guess it means. Dreams it means, magic, how we wish this person in our arms to be not this person, but all our dreams come true. He held her, wanting, wishing, the power of the wish, bending existence till it is. Clay in our hands becomes cups and jugs and pitchers. No. She was not to be clay to his potter, human, she from her soul. He shaped nothing from her clay. Me, only me. Flesh full of pouring, no. Bodies in bodies make bodies, babies, humans, poets, are shaped with hands and words and food, put to mouths, and that hard love beyond the pleasant sway of the body, dancing, dancing. Ida was my mother, that blind old maid. Jim, my father, and grandfather, Hazel's father, his hands held my hands to make letters. He sat and fed me words. His was the thin switch on my legs when I needed a switch on my legs, the aspirin when I fevered, the extra quilt when I was cold, and Betty, too, who read me books hour upon hour before I could read. These folks, my parents, the story of Bill and Hazel is the story of something else. I had been cruel to no one. I had been cursed to my face, and my anger towered like a mushroom cloud, but I said nothing. I am a Jones. A rainbow at midnight? He had seen rainbows on the sea, on the troop ship going to Japan, on a wide ocean on a ship with no women. Was that a man? That is in my genes too. Did he love some man a time, a while? Did his loins that carried half of me stir? What? Hazel waited back in the States, and a wife also, I think.
He told her all, but she told me part. Told her while their bodies moved to music, and swore he'd get a divorce when he could by mail from occupied Japan. And the letters came. I read a few. When I was for hunting for who he was, or I was,
but could not bear to read the love talk my parents made when I was only implicit in their desire. Dearest darling, we'll drop you a few more lines from Okinawa, and darling, I must say it's one torn-up place. From what I can see, there are several different kinds and sizes of wrecked and torn-up ships, and the landscape is sure rigid, and I'm not kidding. He wrote them long, had an eye for detail, couldn't spell as I can't spell. On some island where there had been a fury of blood and fire, while he was young and married with a child in Chester County, he picked up the skull of a Japanese soldier. I see him hold it like Hamlet, his mirror in Yorick. What are the lips? We had a show tonight on the sun deck, but it was too cold for me. I only saw a little of it. Couldn't stand the sea breeze. Come back down to my quarters, and here I am writing you. Just as I cannot stand the cold. How wide the world must have been to that boy from Chester County. A great ruin to explore. Then there was a divorce, I suppose, from that second wife, and coming home. I see him for a while through Ida's eyes, blind, or Jim's jaundiced, to the man he did not want to marry his daughter. He was always good to me. He would lead me as I led her. I count Hazel was much at fault in that divorce. One time him and Ed was hunting down there towards Beaver Creek, and durned if he didn't kill a fox and bring it home to Hazel and ask her to cook it. Didn't know no better than that. So, darling, you already know how deeply head over heels I'm in love with you. So you don't have that to worry about. So be for darling and my true love, forever your G.I. Bill. This to his third wife-to-be, third of 5. Your Honor, he said to the judge in a paternity case for a daughter, Your Honor, when you run through a briar patch, do not notice which briar sticks deepest.